Y'all, I'm here to speak about Love and Hip Hop Hollywood episode 8, the episode that came on tonight. So I'll just get into it. As always, I'm not gonna talk about the entire episode scene by scene. I'm just gonna talk about the stories that stood out the most. So basically, it starts off with Amber, and she's sitting with her sisters, and they're discussing Miles coming out to her or whatever. And her sister's like, growing up, there's always been signs, and people have always said things. And Amber's like, well, now I have, now I have questions that need to be answered. He hangs out with Milan, and Milan is gay, so I just want to know if him and Milan have ever been together or whatever. So she calls Miles and she asks him about Milan, and he told her, yes, he's been with Milan, they've been living together, that's who he's in a relationship with. So she's surprised. Now my whole thing is, if there were always signs and there were always red flags, every woman has a gut feeling, and that's called our woman's intuition. So if you feel like, and your sisters feel like, and your grandmother and all these people that knew Miles and you growing up, if they all feel like, hey, he might be gay, watch out for this, you should have opened your eyes a little bit. I understand you were in love, but still, sometimes when people say things and they constantly say it, it's a little truth to it. So I don't feel like Amber, I think the only reason why Amber should be mad at Miles is for leading her on all this time. But you shouldn't hate Milan or whatever because he's dealing with Miles. Milan was just, he was led on just like you were, Miles was telling him one thing and telling you another. He was trying to keep both of y'all happy, but he was crumbling in the process. So if anything, you should be mad at yourself, Amber, because every sign that was thrown at you, you ignored it. So you should be mad that you wasted all this time trying to make a relationship work that clearly wasn't working. I understand y'all were high school sweethearts or whatever. You love him, but still, you're trying to make something work that wasn't working. So you need to be mad at yourself because you played a little bit of a part in it too. So, Fizz, Moniece, and the mom. Fizz, is I guess getting his son ready for his weekends with Moniece. I guess their custody agreement is that Moniece takes Cameron on the weekends. So he's calling Moniece, trying to get in touch with her. She's not answering her phone. So he's trying to figure out what exactly he should do because he doesn't want to keep Cameron away from Moniece, but Moniece isn't doing her part as the mom. So he meets up with Moniece's mom. Moniece's mother is basically like, oh, you need to take her to court and make her pay you and use that money she pay you with and get a nanny. And I'm like, what kind of advice is that? Like, that's your daughter. First of all, no matter how you feel about her, as a parent, you being her mother, that advice should have been complete opposite. My mother always told me growing up, right, wrong, or indifferent, I got your back. And from what this sound like, Marla doesn't have Moniece's back, period, which is why her and Moniece have a strained relationship that they have. So, for you to basically, I'm not saying she's siding with Fizz because Fizz is being a man about it. Fizz is like, I don't want to take her to court. We're already dealing with stuff with court. I don't want to take her to court. I just want her to be with her son. I want her to be with her kid. I want her to do better. Like, I feel like she needs help, but I'm trying to figure out ways to help her. And Moniece's mother just was a trip tonight, and I was very disappointed in the advice that she gave him, but I'm very glad that Fizz was like, no, I don't want to do that. that's his mom. I'm never gonna take him away from his mom because he needs his mother in his life. So Fizz, he went on his own off of his own gut instinct, and he decided he wants to speak to Moniece. So him and Moniece speak, and Moniece feels like, because he came and he questioned her about the weekends. So Moniece feels like, you're bullying me. You're always trying to call me out for being a bad mom when we both know that's not true. So Fizz is like, no, I'm not calling you out. I just want you to do better. So she broke down and she's like, I feel like I'm always alone in this situation. My mom doesn't have my back. I feel like Fizz doesn't have my back. He's questioning me as a parent or whatever. So Fizz broke down with her and he was like, no, I have your back. He said, I didn't realize till today that, this is what this is what you've been going through. You have not had support, and since forever. So he's like, I'm always here for you. And it's like, I'm here for you and you don't realize it. You're always taking your anger out on me. So to me, that was a real scene. Like, that was real emotions, real problems. And I mean, it does suck for Moniece, but it does explain a lot of her anger. Because I think if she wasn't as angry as she is, her and Fizz will be together. Like, if she wasn't as crazy, her and Fizz will be together. So, and I mean, if they get back together, then, kudos to them, because Moniece don't look right with rich dollars. And I mean, I like Fizz and Nicki, but it seemed like they just casually dating, like nothing serious. But still, it's sad. It's sad. And it's basically, Moniece is just crying out for like help, crying out for somebody who will have her back. And it's like she feels like nobody's in her corner. But Fizz is in her corner. He's rooting for her. So, I mean, Fizz is a good dude. Fizz is a good dude, because any other guy would have been like, nope, I'm taking her to court. I'm getting this. I'm getting that, Well, depending, because usually it's the mom that takes the dad to court. But in like rare situations like this where there are, like the fathers is like the single dad, some of the dads will be spiteful and be like, oh, you want to be, because Moniece is running around here on Love and Hip Hop with rich dollars. So, of course, people going to question her for that. Like, oh, you running up behind some man, but you can't even go get your kid on the weekends. Somebody's going to always have something to say. And we don't necessarily know, like, the entire situation with Moniece and Fizz. But according to her mom, it was something where they got into some altercation. And Moniece snapped at Fizz. And I guess when the judge and the police and all of them saw, they were like Moniece is the aggressor, so Fizz is gonna get custody. So that's just part of the story. Like, that's just the tip of the iceberg, but we don't know exactly what happened to make her lose custody of Cameron. Because I think in the courts, as a mom, you would have to do something really, really crazy to get custody taken away from you. Like, there has to be like physical harm, drugs involved, something like that, for custody to be taken away from you as a mom. Other than that, they're like, oh, we don't see why the kid has to be taken away from their mom because XYZ is not evident. I think that's how it works in court. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be right, and I probably got mixed up. I don't know. But it looks like they'll be going to therapy, like they need help, and Fizz is gonna help us. So, good for them, and that's what they need. Let me see what else happened. Oh, Hazel E and her ATV accident in Dubai. I mean, it's not really much to talk about, but she's just, upset and afraid that because her nose was broken in the accident, that her nose is never going to be the same, because, she's like, in LA, your face is what makes you money. So she's afraid, she's like insecure and afraid and everything. But people were throwing shade, basically saying that the only reason why she got surgery, well, the reason why the accident happened is because she wanted to get a nose job. And Hazel was like, no, if I wanted to get a nose job, I would get a nose job. I wouldn't sit up here and fake an accident to get a nose job. Like, I really got hurt. And her, Nicki, Milan, and Tierra are all sitting in the room with her, and they're like, you go on the blogs, and the blogs are saying that you faking, and Tierra was like, well, the blogs say he's gay. The blogs call Nikki plastic. They call me fat. Like, you can't read that negative stuff. And it's like, yeah, I'm like, a lot of people, like, people keyboard thug. People get behind a computer, a phone, a tablet, an iPad, or whatever device they use to get online on social media. People get behind their devices and they grow balls, but they know for a fact that they would never say any of this stuff that they say online to your face. That's why me, depending, like, because me, I don't have like hatred in my heart for any of these like celebrities. Like, there might be some of them who I don't agree with what they do or how they act, but I don't think I've ever like personally felt like it depends on what you do, but if I don't know you personally, I can't really hate you. I can dislike you, I can dislike your ways, but I don't know you as a person to hate you. And it be people on Twitter and YouTube and all of that just hating these celebrities like they know them personally. And it's like, but I noticed that a lot of people who keyboard thug are people who are looking for attention. That's basically what it is, because it happens to all of us. You always got that one person that's in your mentions, that's under in your comments on YouTube that always got something to say. Some of that stuff you just gotta let it, roll off your back. If it don't apply, let it fly. So, this episode we basically saw Hazel being a little bit vulnerable and a little bit insecure. And it's like, girl, please get your, if you want to get a nose job, get your nose job. It's your money. Do what makes you happy. Look at Miss Nikki. Okay? We all know that girl had plastic surgery. She had work done, but she looked good. Like, it's whatever. You so worried about your nose, girl, don't worry about your nose. If you are comfortable in your skin, then you do you, boo. Let people hate. The negative and the positive is still good. If they ain't talking about you, then you ain't doing nothing. So whatever. What else happened? Quite a few things happened. Nia. Nia Riley. So last episode, Soulja Boy was very, disrespectful to her. So she claims she's gonna fall back from him, and she was throwing some party called Mommies and Mimosas, just like it's like a mommy meet and greet, which is cool. That I need to do something like that, because I know a lot of girls that got babies, but we don't be having time to hang out. I might do something like that. Thank you for that idea, Nia. I ain't gonna steal it from you. I might just piggyback off of your idea, but I'm not gonna steal. But that's a good idea. Thank you for that. But anyway, back on subject. She's having her Mommies and Mimosas meet and greet, and while she's setting up, her father Teddy Riley meets up with her, and he's speaking on Soulja Boy and how he's hearing in the streets that Soulja Boy is disrespectful to her. And she's basically defending Soulja Boy like, well, people talk, people say stuff, I don't really care, that's my relationship. So she's basically feeling like it's her life, it's her decisions, whatever she decides to do is what she decides to do. And it's her decision at the end of the day. So Teddy Riley is just like looking out for her, because that's his daughter, and how good fathers are with their daughters. They feel like they have to protect them, so they feel like it's only right, if it's a guy that's acting out, disrespecting their child, they something has to give, they gotta talk to him. So Nia and Soulja meet up and they talking, and Soulja Boy is like, we always gonna be good, you my girl. But he said in his confessionals, well, Nia is my girl, but I'm me, I'm Soulja Boy. I'm not gonna change overnight. I do what I do, and she can either deal with it or not. So I'm like, so then Nia says he gave her some. I ain't even pay attention to the conversation, because I was just so baffled by how stupid Nia is she basically said, well, I'll just deal with it, and we'll just deal with whatever it is whatever it is that happens with us as it come along. It's my life, and this is what I want to do. And it's like, okay, it's like the cycle continues. You see how your father treated women growing up, so you gonna go after a guy that does the same thing, and you have a daughter. So you're basically showing your daughter that it's okay for a guy to treat you like complete and utter crap. It's perfectly fine. As long as you stay with him and you put up with it, it's perfectly fine. No, boo. First of all, Nia, you are not an ugly chick. You are a pretty girl. Your daughter is a pretty little girl. Soulja Boy ain't, move on. Find somebody better. And then Soulja Boy was on Twitter tonight acting a complete and utter fool, talking about some F giving up. I quit. I'm single. And then he tweeted that to VH1. No, to Love and Hip Hop. And then he said, F Teddy Riley, he's a lame. I'm like, F Teddy Riley, but Teddy Riley, his legend, his career, okay, is like his track record a lot longer and better than yours, bro. Okay? Like, I don't like Soulja Boy's character at all. Like, if that's him, if that's how he really is, like, in real life, then these girls need to leave him alone. And Soulja Boy he's not all that to look like. I don't get what these chicks are seeing in Soulja Boy. I don't get it. He's not really a looker. He looks like a little... However old he is, Soulja Boy has looked like he was 12 years old since he came out with Crank That. And I know he wasn't 12 when he came out with that, but I'm just saying, Soulja Boy looks and acts like a boy. So leave him alone. Let him be a boy. Stop trying to make him daddy to your baby. Stop trying to make him to be in some relationship that he clearly does not want to be in. And I'm like, he's sitting up here, he got all these girls fighting over him for what? I was like, Nia and Nas sitting up here looking like two complete fools on this show fighting over him. But he, like I said in my other vlog, he's on Sisterhood of Hip Hop with Diamond and the Westbrooks with Indian Love. Like, man, girl, bye. Moving on. But anyway, the last thing, I ain't even really gonna talk about this much because I ain't really care too much for it. I was like in and out watching it. But who else did not know that Brandy was a rapper? I'm like, she raps, and then she exaggerates so much in her confessionals. Like, I be so annoyed watching her. Like, soon as she come on my screen, like, I could be watching a scene with somebody else, and as soon as she come on my screen, this is my face the entire time. And then half the time when she say stuff, I'm like tonight I tweeted, shut the up. Like, she be doing too much in her confessionals. Like, you can tell she reading from a script. You can tell she's reading from a script. She can't even act right. But she in the studio recording whatever song. And apparently she signed to Nick Cannon's incredible label. Okay. In my opinion, she shouldn't even be rapping. Wasn't she Ray J's assistant at one point? I think she need to go back to doing that. I mean, I think Ray J has still his assistant position is still open since him and Morgan ain't cool no more. She not his assistant anymore. So I don't know, man. But I was just like, okay, yeah, she can't rap to me. She don't need to be rapping. That's it in a nutshell. But yeah, basically that was the episode. Love and Hip Hop. Season 2, episode 8. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And again, I'm still deciding if I'm gonna review Black Ink Crew Chicago I might, because I found out some interesting information about the first episode, so I might. I'll look into it. If I don't put a review up tonight, it'll be up tomorrow. But thank you guys for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.